Hi, I'm Starborn. Remember, to be a star, you have to shine your own light, follow your own path, and not be afraid of the darkness, because that is when stars shine brightest. If you've been looking at our website, starborninstitute.org, you'd already know that the title of tonight's show is Full Steam Ahead. And so that sort of sounds supercharged, doesn't it? But it is possible to sort of go full steam ahead right now, because all of the planets are direct. All 10 planets are going forward. So if everything in the heavens is moving forward, I think it's time that we try to move forward as well. And there can be some good reasons why we should be trying to do that. One of them is that a major planet is just about to change signs, and it is a real go-getter planet full of energy. It's Mars. Today it is still in Taurus along with Uranus, and it is composing a harsh square of 5 planets in the fixed signs. And so Mars and Uranus are squaring Jupiter, Saturn, and Mercury, which are all in Aquarius, the sign of the future. Well, these are fixed signs, so people still have very fixed opinions, and they're not willing to compromise in any way. And so these fixed signs can still be promoting maximum gridlock. It's not quite as much as it was before, though, because there's only 5 planets squaring each other, not 8, the way there used to be. However, other planets have, and so Mars is at the 29th degree of Taurus, and tomorrow it is going into Gemini. But the 29th degree of Taurus is where there is a fixed star which rules blindness. And so it can be that at this time, one reason to move full steam ahead is because some people, particularly in their investments, which is what Taurus rules, may have been blinded, maybe by greed or something else, and they may have taken excessive gambles in financial matters, and that could be hurting right now. And in order to get out of that, they may want to sell and move full steam ahead, and that would be a good idea, because that maybe their future plans have not been working out quite as well as they would think, and this is not a good time to gamble on anything. So try to remember that. But tomorrow, Mars will move into Gemini. Then it will be trining the 3 planets in Aquarius, Saturn, Jupiter, and Mercury, the ruler of Gemini. And that will really make for some nice conversation, or people who are in a hurry to make plans, or maybe get back to a little bit more normal way of life, because Gemini rules the public, but it also rules everyday life. And it rules temporary and part-time efforts, and it rules youth. So there may certainly be a lot of emphasis on getting the kids back in school, which would be pretty nice for them, wouldn't it? So those planets are, that one planet, particularly Mars, changing signs tomorrow is going to make a big difference. But today there are 4 planets in the water signs, and 3 of them are in Pisces. The Sun is there, and so is Venus. That's conjuncting the Sun in Pisces, and Neptune, the ruler of the sign, is there as well. And today, those 3 planets are all trining the Moon in Scorpio. Scorpio is one of the fixed financial signs, and Taurus is the other. And so there is a harsh T-cross in fixed signs, because Mars and Uranus today in Taurus are opposing that Moon in Scorpio, and together they are squaring the 3 planets in Aquarius. But that will change tomorrow when Mars moves on. So with the planets in Pisces so favorably aspected right now, because when the Sun and Venus and Neptune get all together, since Pisces does rule charity and forgiveness, and it rules synthesis. It rules looking above the nitty-gritty facts and maybe seeing a bigger picture. And it does rule dreams as well. So that's why with these really good planets in Pisces, which are fortified by the trine from the moon in Scorpio, this is a time when we can be on our way toward being very practical about business matters and our job and our health, but at the same time we can be developing more compassion. We can be going sort of full steam ahead, wanting to do whatever is right for our loved ones and ourselves as we move forward and make our future plans. So this is a really good time for you to go forward, even if there are 5 planets in fixed signs. At least we're not facing quite as much pressure and stubbornness as we were facing before. And some of the gamblers are losing money right now. So maybe they'll stop gambling. So things are turning around a little bit. Okay, what does this mean to all 12 of the sun signs? Oh, Aries. This is a time, once again, with no planets in the fire signs, when I know that you just like to sort of get back to a real energetic way of life. In fact, it might even be Aries that you sort of wish you had more to do. More things you'd like to do, that is. But right now, I think that you should concentrate on what's happening in the background of your life instead, Aries, because that could be pretty nice. And the reason why is that Sun and Venus, the planet of love, and Neptune are all in Pisces right behind your sun sign. That means you have a lot of protection behind the scenes. If Venus or Jupiter is right behind somebody's sun sign, it can offer them friends in high places that can really help you out. So why don't you concentrate on the really good people that you know behind the scenes that may not be able to help you with a new beginning at the moment, but still making important contacts right now is important, because when Mars, your ruler, changes signs and goes into Gemini tomorrow, since Gemini is a sign of communication, there can be a lot more of that going on about future plans. So if you are not quite able to make your own full steam ahead move right now, why don't you contact somebody else who could put in a good word for you, Aries? Because I think they'd be happy to do that right now. And that may sort of get the ball rolling in your future. And so it's worth a try. Okay, what does it mean to a Taurus? Well, Taurus, this is a time when I hope you haven't been gambling, Taurus, because you might have been a little bit blind to the true value or the non-value of some investment. And that is because Mars and Uranus in your sign, 2 malefic planets, are squaring the 3rd malefic planet, Saturn, in Aquarius, and they're squaring Mercury and Jupiter in Aquarius. But on top of that, they are also opposing the moon today in Scorpio. And so if nothing else, Taurus, you might have a tax problem. Now, you might have a tax problem because you made a lot of money. Well, that would be nice. So you could afford the tax problem, but still, you know, no one likes to pay taxes. But if you took a gamble and it hasn't been turning out, or it has lost value, then you would have a loss on your hands, Taurus, and that could be a little hard to live with for you right now. So this is a time, if it isn't a tax problem that you've got, it could be a credit problem. And so you have to be real careful with your money, Taurus. And my advice to you is bring it back into yourself, okay? You have a good financial mind, and yours is the sign of the good provider. Maybe it's time to not let other people influence you quite so much. So try to bring things a little bit more home to you, because actually the people that you care about are the ones you're making the money for. And you know them best, better than anybody else. So try to just stick to simple things if you can. Okay, what does it mean to a Gemini? Gemini. You're going to be supercharged tomorrow. So it looks like from tomorrow on, Gemini, you are going to be moving full steam ahead. And the reason why is that Mars, that energetic, determined, aggressive planet that rules war and it rules competition, is moving into your sign. And when it does that, it's going to begin to trine Saturn, another malefic planet, and Jupiter and Mercury, your own ruler, in Aquarius. And together those 4 planets will be trining the sign of Libra tomorrow. And so that just simply means, Gemini, that there are future possibilities that are opening up for you. It would be good for you to really watch what you say right now. Mars is not a loving planet. Okay, so there may not be real sweet words of praise coming out of your mouth in the next few weeks, Gemini. And that's what you need to guard against. Because if you can't say anything nice, zip the lip. And the reason why is that it won't get you anywhere if you're too overtly critical. That's not the way to make your future plans work. And it's the future that you really need to concentrate on, Gemini, because even your ruler, Mercury, is in Aquarius, the sign of the future, but so is Jupiter, and it's a wonderful planet, and it will only be in Aquarius this year. Take advantage of the really good, benevolent, kindly people that are around you, and let some of their kindness rub off on you. The 3 planets in Pisces are squaring that Mars in your sign tomorrow. So not all of your relationships are going to work out real smoothly. And so this may be a time, since your sign rules part-time or temporary efforts, when you may want to change something in your life or in your job or in the way you spend your time, and sort of shuffle the deck again, because you could be you could have different needs now than you, say, had last year. And so you may want to go in a little bit different direction. And so you need to think about that first. Okay, what does it mean to a Cancer? Cancer. There are a lot of planets in water signs right now. That's good for you, Cancer. And the reason why is there's 4 planets trining your sun. Your sign has a lot of support right now, Cancer. And that is because the moon, your ruler, is in Scorpio, a fixed financial sign, and it is trining your sun. And then the sun, Venus, and Neptune in Pisces are also trining your sun. That simply means that there can really be a lot of understanding and forgiveness and charity and good quiet feelings going on that are coming your way, Cancer. In other words, Cancer is sort of a modest sign in that they don't push themselves on people. They can be a little bit shy at times, actually. And yet, with these good planets in Pisces, it simply means that people can sort of come out a little bit more. They can be more willing to meet you and talk with you. And it can be that they admire you very much. You could have a secret admirer, actually, Cancer. And also, there could be some more money coming your way, because that moon, your own ruler, is in Scorpio, a fixed financial sign, and it is trining your sun. So I would say you're coming into a very good time right now, and I think it is a time of peacemaking for you, or when things can settle down a little bit more, and that would probably make you happy. So if your life gets a little quieter and a little calmer, I think you're going to love it, Cancer. Okay, what does it mean to a Leo? Leo. This is a time with no planets still in water. They're not in fire signs at all, when you have to be extra careful. And the reason why is that you have to look out for financial losses. And they're around, and you're probably going to endure some, Leo. And the reason why could be higher prices. So if you're used to if your budget is set here, but the prices are up here, then your budget has to adjust. But it could also come about in different ways. And Leo, that is because there are so many planets in fixed signs right now, and they are all in a harsh T-cross, squaring or opposing your sun sign. So you need to watch out because 2 of the 3 signs are money signs. And that's because Mars and Uranus today in Taurus are squaring your sun sign. That means that if you've been taking a financial gamble with anything, you have either just lost or you're about to lose. And so try to be very careful with your money and don't spend it right now, Leo. You may need it for extra expenses. And then the moon in Scorpio today is squaring your sun as well. And so that means there could be a tax problem, a credit problem, or some problem with an insurance policy, or even a grant, or money that's supposed to come in but doesn't quite make it. And so you need to be careful there. And then 3 planets in Aquarius are all opposing your sun sign. Saturn, which is another you've got all 3 malefic planets coming up against you, Leo. You know, try to keep a very low profile this week, because if you stick your head up, somebody is going to they'll be offended, even if you haven't said or done anything. Because those 3 planets in Aquarius are all opposing your sun sign as well. The problem is your sun sign rules your heart, your back, and your blood supply. And that is what is being sorely threatened at the moment. So don't allow yourself to get too worked up about anything this week, Leo, because, you know, your high anxiety or your anger could hurt you a lot worse than it's hurting anybody else. So that's why you need to sort of be as peaceful as you can right now, and don't spend money. You're going to need it. Okay, what does it mean to a Virgo? Virgo. This is a time when you can be thrilled because you're still being supported by planets in the other earth signs. That's nice, isn't it, Virgo? And it helps you gather steam, because we're all supposed to be moving full steam ahead. Maybe not Leo, but everybody else. And so the Mars and Uranus in Taurus are trining your sun, and Pluto in Capricorn is still trining your sun as well. But you know, those are not real exciting planets, and 2 of them are really slow movers. Uranus takes 7 years to get through a sign. Pluto takes way longer than that. So Uranus is not moving out of Taurus, and Pluto is not moving out of Capricorn. And that means that they are going to be trining your sun, Virgo, for years to come. If you just be on a glide path that gets you toward your future and into retirement, you're on it already, Virgo. You're going to be doing just fine. It may not be exciting. It may not be fanciful. It may not be glamorous, but it's going to get you where you want to go in the end. So think of a long-term goal of yours, Virgo, and work for the long-term goal and nothing else, because it looks to me like you're going to make it. And if you have a shorter term goal, but something that still takes a few years, try to get that done by 2025, because that is when Uranus will leave Taurus, and that's when Pluto will leave Capricorn. But until then, boy, you've got some solid support behind you. So I hope you do something real constructive with it. Slow but sure. Okay, what does it mean to a Libra? Libra. You know, as of tomorrow, when Mars moves into Gemini and then begins to trine your sun, and Saturn, Jupiter, and Mercury in Aquarius are already trining your sun, you're going to get a lot of people with great ideas wanting to express them or sell them to you, Libra. I'd be real careful with the money if I were you. Remember, there is a harsh T-cross among the fixed signs, and that includes both financial signs. This is not a good time to let go of your money, Libra, but it is sure a great time to listen to good ideas. You may not actually want to put money into very many ideas that you're hearing right now, but you should write them down, because maybe they only need a little more time to develop. And once they get a little more developed, they could become very interesting to you. So if I were you, I would, if somebody is telling you new things that you've never heard of before, I'd stick around and listen to them a little bit, because that's what Aquarius rules. Aquarius rules the future. Well, that Jupiter in Aquarius is trining your sun until the end of the year. It leaves and goes into Pisces from the end of May to the end of July, but otherwise it comes back in. And for the whole last half of the year, it's trining your sun as well. So I would say, Libra, you know, by the end of the year, you may be in a position where you are maybe even a silent partner of some other organization that looks like it's got a pretty good chance in the future. Wouldn't that be nice? That is possible. So I'd look around and listen, and I'd take notes if I were you, but don't part with your money right now. Okay, what does it mean to a Scorpio? Scorpio. You too should not be parting with your money right now, but you might not be able to help that, Scorpio. And the reason why is that the moon is in your sign today, and it is being harshly opposed by Uranus in Taurus and by Mars in Taurus. And Mars is at the fateful 29th degree, and it is where there is a blind star in Taurus, meaning that when a planet gets on that particular degree, it indicates somebody who could have been a little blind to a financial matter. Or there is the possibility that an important financial matter has been kept from you. Okay, it's been, somebody's trying to hold on maybe to money that they shouldn't be trying to hold on to. Maybe it's supposed to come to you. Your sign rules inheritance, insurance, taxes, credit, loans, grants, or money coming in from any other source. It looks to me like somebody doesn't want you to have that, Scorpio. But why don't you let it pass right now? This is not a good time for you to make an aggressive mood. It is a better time for someone else to display their aggression so that you see what you have to work with first. In other words, be wary of people with get-rich-quick schemes, Scorpio, and don't invest. Just keep your money safe if you can. These are harsh aspects right now. And on top of that, the 3 planets in Aquarius, which rule the future, including Saturn, the 3rd malefic planet, are all squaring your sun. So yes, the future is calling everyone. And yes, it's going to get a little louder as soon as Mars gets into Gemini, because there'll be more planets in air signs. But just because we're talking about the future and thinking about the future and wanting to move full steam ahead, you still have to put food on the table, and you still have to think long term. And that thinking long term involves your loved ones. So there's a lot to consider before you make a financial move, Scorpio. So I suggest you don't make one right now. Just think about it. Okay, what does it mean to a Sagittarian? Well, Sagittarius. No, there aren't any planets in fire signs, but there are, particularly by tomorrow, going to be planets in the mutable signs, and yours is a mutable sign. There are 4 mutable signs: Gemini, Virgo, your sign Aquarius, and Pisces. Well, we already know there's 3 wonderful planets in Pisces, the Sun, Venus, and Neptune, and they're all squaring your sun. And then as of tomorrow, when that aggressive Mars moves into Gemini, a sign of communication and change, it will be opposing your sun sign, Sagittarius. So, you know, you can't expect everybody to be happy with you when that happens. The reason why is Gemini rules youth. And the young people have been subject to a confining kind of isolation this year with the schools closed, and that can help them feel a little left out and angry. And so, you know, people are going to have to spend the summer trying to calm things down, and you may have to do that as well, Sagittarius. but it's worth it, particularly for the people that you love. You know, if you just need to spend a little time babysitting with somebody so that they don't feel hostile, or they realize that, you know, the past is the past, it's over with, and we're all thinking of the future instead, and try to focus on something better for those who have lost their vision right now. Because if you help them get that back, that future vision and that hope, then you will have been doing something that you're born for. So I hope you do that. Okay, what does it mean to a Capricorn? Oh, Capricorn. This is a time when things can be looking pretty solid for you. And the reason why is, one, is there could be more money coming in because the moon in Scorpio is sextiling your sun. And Scorpio is a fixed financial sign. You could get an income tax refund, Capricorn, or at least not have to pay too many taxes. And on top of that, there are 3 planets in Aquarius right ahead of your sun sign. Well, they're sextiling your sun too. And tomorrow they are going to be fortified. The planets in Aquarius have not been supported by any other planets in air signs until tomorrow. And tomorrow, when Mars moves into Gemini, they'll trine them. You're about to get a little bit busier, Capricorn, and it could be working on the future, but I just urge you not to believe every get-rich-quick scheme that you hear, because they're just hot air. On the other hand, if you follow your natural sort of conservative, slow and steady instincts, then that will just take you another step further in your path towards your future. So for a Capricorn to go full steam ahead, what I mean by that is, okay, take 1 step, Capricorn, maybe 2, and that's it. In other words, you don't want to rush too much. So just think of taking 1 more step forward right now, one that you can afford, and one that is going to give you some lasting happiness, because, you know, that's what you have earned, and that's what you deserve. Okay, what does it mean to an Aquarian? Well, Aquarius, this is a time when I think that you are just right on the verge of not having so many problems. And by that I mean today you could have a few, because Mars and Uranus in Taurus are squaring your sun. They're opposing the moon in Scorpio, and the moon in Scorpio is squaring your sun too. Just like Leo, you really can't afford to let go of your money right now, Aquarius, at all. But that shouldn't stop you, Aquarius. Now, the reason why is that Mars is going to move on tomorrow and be in Gemini, and then it will be trining your sun. And that means there could just be a wealth of ideas jumping forward and, you know, wanting to land in your lap, Aquarius. Well, Aquarians are very future-oriented. And not much amazes them. In other words, they're very open to a lot of different concepts. That's what I think you're going to be hearing, at least for the next few months. In fact, you could have a very enjoyable summer, Aquarius, simply soaking in all the wonderful and unique things that are going on around you. Because an Aquarian can take a small idea, or even an idea that isn't, you know, it's just got a germ of something good in it, and an Aquarian can work on that for a while and come up with something pretty fantastic. Your sign rules music. When Mars moves into Gemini and trines your sun, you too could be very interested or more interested in the music scene, and even writing or playing more music yourself. And that would work out really well for you, and it would be a stress reliever, Aquarius. And there has been some maximum gridlock this year that you've had to endure. So if you can find an outlet for your stress that is something very creative like music, you should go for it. Okay, what does it mean to a Pisces? Pisces. This is a time when, you know, you can have love on your mind, Pisces, and it can be love for everybody. And that is because the Sun, Venus, and Mercury and Neptune in your sign, your own ruler, promote healing. Remember, all the water signs rule healing, but now more so than before, because the moon is in Scorpio, trining all the planets the 3 planets in your sign, Pisces. So there can be some good financial news coming your way, but this is also a wonderful time for your home and your family, and a little forgiveness and a little getting over things and just showing your gentler side. You're also very popular right now, Pisces. So I hope that you sort of spread your sunshine around in the form of nice words and a happy smile on your face, because perhaps that could lift a lot of people out of a depressing time. Perhaps you could help them think of better days and help them renew their own hope. And you know, nobody's better at that than you are, Pisces, so I hope you give it a try. All right, thanks so much for tuning in. Remember, you can see the show and read our blog on our website, starborninstitute.org. Bye.